Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today I'm very excited to check out Don't Break the Ice from Cootie Games. This is for ages 3 to 6 for 2 to 4 players. It'll take anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes to play. And in Don't Break the Ice, there's going to be a bear skating around an ice rink, and you're going to be knocking down the ice as an all-powerful Norse god trying not to knock him into the water or something. I don't know. It's a classic children's game. But it doesn't stand the test of time. Let's open it up and I'll tell you. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Don't Break the Ice. Now, before I get started, I do want to mention I do not have the rule booklet, so I cannot speak to it. I did look it up online. It was pretty well done. But honestly, after watching this video, you can probably figure out how to play the game if you couldn't just from looking at the back of the box. Very simple game. So in Don't Break the Ice, there's going to be, at least in the newer version, there's going to be a bear on here, and he's skating, and you're trying to make it so he does not fall through the ice. You're going to be doing that by taking your hammer and tap, 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 tapping out some of the ice. On your turn, you're going to try and tap out a piece of ice, and then it'll be someone else's turn. You're going to continue until, bada boom, the bear falls down, at which point whoever made the bear fall down is the loser of the game, and everyone else wins the game. It's very, very simple, and that's just about it. So you might be wondering, how does it assemble? Well, I'll show you in case you're interested. So I just watched the game. All the ice comes out, and then there's a two-part prong system right here where you just slide it out. You fold it up into a little square, and then you can slide it back into the box. Everything fits nice and neat. But that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to get inside of Don't Break the Ice. Alrighty then, Don't Break the Ice from Cootie Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go to the pros, let's go to the cons. Before we get started, full disclaimer, I do not have a rule booklet for this, so I cannot speak to the rule booklet. I mentioned that middle part, but I do want to mention that. I assume it's probably pretty good, though, because it's a very simple game. So, first, on the cons side, the game's not going to be for everybody. This is an incredibly simple game. You don't see this too often on games where they actually give you an age range, like age 3 to 6. Normally they just say ages 3 plus, but I feel like ages 3 to 6 is about right. Maybe you can squeak in a 7-year-old, but I feel like this game is going to have a very limited window where it's going to be entertaining for kids to play, because at a certain point, it's just going to get boring. Also, once you get to a certain point, you can tell who's going to win. You can be like, all right, we've got 3 hits left, 1, 2, 3, which means you're going to win. Game over. So unless somebody completely screws the pooch, which is really difficult to do, it's a very deterministic game. Also, this game has the same problem as Tic Tac Lumberjack, which I gave an unfavorable review for last year, and that is, this game can take longer to set up than it can to be played if you're playing with younger children, which is extremely frustrating as a parent. I know that personally, both in my classroom and with my 2-year-old son. Any other cons I have with this game? Purely a children's game. Not even really, maybe a family game if you have 2 kids that are the exact same age in that 2-year-old to 6-year-old range, but probably not. So this is squarely a children's game. And also most children I think are going to get frustrated trying to load the ice into the little tray, because it is more difficult than it really should be, but also that's because you have to pack it in tight for the game to work properly. So it's a children's game, but they're going to have issues most likely getting the ice in, which is not that good. That's about all I got, because moving on to the pros, Don't Break the Ice is a classic, and it still is a classic. This is a really hard game to review for me, because you got to come at it from a reviewer standpoint. This is an extremely narrow-scoped game. This is only for a very specific group of people, which is very young children and the adults that play games with those very young children. With that being said, I still enjoy Don't Break the Ice, and I highly recommend it. You know, and you're probably watching this because you're like, oh man, I don't remember. Maybe I never played it. Maybe it's nostalgia, but is this good for my kid? And I gotta say, if your kid is ages 18 months to 6, yes, absolutely, get this game. It's a no-brainer. They're gonna have a blast with it. I've yet to meet a kid who doesn't like this game. I've played it with my son, who really enjoys it. He likes pounding it out and hitting the bear, doing all sorts of stuff like that. I played it with my classroom, which is ages 3, 4, and 5, and I've never had a kid who did not want to play the game. They have a lot of fun with it. Another thing I like is the components are very well made. Everything is going to stand the test of time, which is a testament to this game, because the whole point of the game is you pounding the living crap out of the game. So, for the fact that it has nice enough components to stand the test of time, that's a great thing. Another thing I like, this is an awesome little thing, is they include 1 extra ice cube. And this is fantastic, because these ice cubes, they don't tend to get lost, but if they do, it's just nice that they had the foresight to include one, because it's a kids game, and kids tend to lose things. So components are nice, gameplay very, very simple, easy to learn, easy to teach. It doesn't take that long to set up. Now, games can potentially end in about 15 to 20 seconds, but it's still setting it up is not that difficult if you're a competent adult. It's easy to take apart. The box is perfectly serviceable, and overall, Don't Break the Ice from Cootie Games is a classic, and it still maintains its classic. It's still a classic. That's what I'm trying to say here. This is the kind of game you can get it for your kids, play with it for a couple of years, put it into storage, get it out when you got grandkids, play with it. They're going to have a lot of fun. Put it back into storage, play when you got more grandkids or great-grandkids. The game is going to stand the test of time. It has stood the test of time, and it will continue to stand the test of time, because Cootie Games Don't Break the Ice is a fantastic game for kids ages 18 months to 6 years old. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below and in the comments below. Let me know, did you have Don't Break the Ice as a kid? No, I did. And I love this game. I didn't have the Cootie game where you had to make the bugs. I also didn't have the Spill the Bean one. I had this, and then I had Ants in the Pants. But which of these games in this line did you have as a kid? If you had any of them, as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.